Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is Ian Douglas. I am working at trying to get some live stream commands going with Streamerbot, so I'm going to be working on that today. Feel free to chat and say hi if you want to. I'm only going to be working for maybe an hour or so. I usually don't stream for another like 6 hours. But I want to work on this and see if I can get this working a little bit quicker. Commands in YouTube. All right, so let's see if we can get this working. So we have started streaming. We have updated the YouTube broadcast. So in YouTube chat, if I do my resume command, nothing happens. So why is that? It did work. So that worked. Sometimes this doesn't work. So that is very odd. Why is that sometimes working and sometimes not? All right, let's try this. All right, I'm going to try a check command from my bot account manually. Yeah, so that went through just fine. That is really bizarre. All right, let's try something else. So I want to try...
Roger, command. Eagle 1. Targeting systems active. Stand by.
I want to see if I can play the game across platforms. So we should be able to. Yep, it is going to allow us. Yep. All right, so we can do cross-platform gaming. All right, sorry. I had to take care of something here at home real quick. Cool. So basically what I built out is a really fun battleship game that we can play. And so we can all start entering coordinates in the game that we want to fire at. So we can say like A7, and we'll start to see all of these show up on the board as targets that we all want to aim for. And eventually it's going to pick one of these because all three of these had kind of the same amount of requests. And so it's going to pick one of these three to actually go fire upon. Now the video and the chat latency is kind of bad on YouTube. It's a little more real time on Twitch. But it looks like that's going to work out okay. So, okay, so we need to figure out, because the telling YouTube chat that the next round has started is significantly delayed, or not sending it all to YouTube. So I need to double check that and make sure that that's going out to all the platforms, because right now it only sent over to Twitch. Usually...
Command, this is Eagle 1. We didn't get any coordinates. Transmit again.
Usually
Over.
That's an artifact of Streamerbot not recognizing that YouTube is live. And therefore it's not broadcasting. Because we did see the broadcast of, hey, thanks for joining Battleship, but the actual intermittent chat messages that end up in Twitch chat are not also ending up on YouTube chat. So I need to make sure that we are sending over to all the platforms. So let's go take a look at that real quick. I'm just going to stop the game.
Command, this is Eagle
let's go take a look at,
We didn't get any coordinates. Transmit
let's see,
again.
that's going to
Over.
be
Game over.
under game tick. Let's go over to the coding screen here. It'll also be really hard for folks on YouTube to see, but this is basically what's happening each clock tick in the game. We basically need to look for where we are sending chat messages. And so what I want to look for in here is ID 736.chat. So no coordinates were seen, no shot fired. And that message is ending up on Twitch, but it's not ending up on YouTube, which tells me the DLL file where I'm building up this send message, it does not recognize that that YouTube is active. And yet YouTube is active because I can do my chat commands on YouTube and we get responses. So Streamerbot knows that some of the time that we can send chat messages to YouTube, but for some reason this send chat message did not work. But that's the exact same call that we're doing for the static chat responses. It's the same call that we're doing for the game. So somewhere between the game and the static responses, we're forgetting that YouTube is connected and that we can send messages to YouTube. So we might need to figure out something here about who to send these messages to. Because we're not really saying in here like which platform specifically we want to send this message to. Like if we do the stocks command on YouTube, we shouldn't see anything happen. We see the response, I think, happen over on Twitch because we saw the command come in. No, so nothing happens on Twitch when we do the stocks command on YouTube because that's Twitch only. So it's not even paying attention to the incoming chat from YouTube for the stocks command. But for sending messages back to the game, we need to make sure that we're sending it to all the platforms where the players are coming from. And for some reason, that's not always happening. So what we need to do here is, let's see, how are we going to debug that? Let's go take a look at the code for our DLL and see what's happening in there. Let's see, Streamerbot examples. Let's pull this over here so you can see what's going on. So in our source, we have chat. And inside here, we've got that send a message call. So this is where we're sending the message and whether or not it comes from the bot. That one defaults to true. This is where we're trying to get our current platform. And getting the current platform is looking at a user type. So that's part of our problem. I think we need to we're going to need to build out like a broadcast, like send this to all of the platforms. Because right now, trying to send a message, it's looking at who sent the last message and where do we send that response. But if the game is just trying to broadcast a message, we need to make sure that it's going to all of the platforms where all of the players are. So I think we need to build a broadcast method in here. I think that's why we're not seeing the messages from the game show up on YouTube. Okay, so how are we going to do that? We're basically going to need something like send message, where we force the platform to all of the platforms. and do like send message to all or something like that. I think that's probably what we're going to need to do. So yeah, let's just build that. Just going to copy this whole thing. And we'll just say to all. Take this first one out here. And then we're going to take out the switch statement. And we just want to send to all of the platforms. So the only one that we needed to try catch around was for YouTube, because we were also trying to debug whether or not we could even send to YouTube. We don't need these CPH log debugs anymore. And actually we have our own log method now that we should use. And that is going to be log dot. Yeah, just message. Yeah. So send message is going to go to Twitch. This one will go to Kick. This one will go to YouTube. I do Kick a lot less. I'm going to put that one at the bottom. I think we'll do YouTube first, and then we'll do Twitch after that. Okay. Actually, let me pull this up in my other editor so I can actually compile this. And then we'll need to shut down Streamerbot. So let me close this up. Make sure this compiles okay. Yeah, that compiles okay. All right, so what we need to do is we need to modify our game that general messages that happen in the game need to come from this method, send message to all. Maybe I'll call it send message to all platforms. That way we'll have this as a kind of a global thing that we can use everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to close it out of this editor since I have it open in my other editor here. All right, so let's go back to our Battleship game. Actually, well, this will be easier to edit in VS Code. All right, so let's go back to multi-platform games, Battleship. And I want to look for send message. And this is where I want to change that to send message to all platforms. Yeah, see, this is where we need to make sure that we send that to everybody. All right, and then we have any other send message. Yep, we still have a couple here. All mines missed, fleet is lost, game over. And then flawless victory, that's if we play in normal or extreme mode and we don't hit any mines at all. Okay, so that's the bomber complete. And then what we need to do here, let's just do a global search for send message within the Battleship game. So this is where we can specify like which files we actually want to tag. Okay, so no Battleship game is running. That's if we try to join. Wait, no, that's if the game ends. Actually, that one I'm going to keep to send message because that'll respond back to the streamer based on whichever platform they're on when they type in that message. And then Battleship game ended by the streamer. This one will send to everybody. Okay, so the game setup, this is where we do the initial Battleship game is already in progress. That one is just for the streamer, so that one we'll leave alone. Setup failed. That'll be for the streamer. Setup failed for the streamer. This one's for like a debug mode. It'll basically tell us where one of the mines are if we have that debug message turned on. And then, all right, welcome message. So this needs to go out to everybody. We have this many seconds to join. That goes to everybody. Number of players so far. And then nobody joined, game canceled. We'll send that to everybody. Okay, otherwise, the round started, enter a coordinate. That needs to go to everybody. Warning, battleship timers not configured. That's going to go to the streamer. No battleship game running to the streamer. All ships sunk victory. That one goes to everybody. Flawless victory bonus. That goes to everybody. Okay. So I just want to verify that all of these are only going to the streamer. This is just for the game setup. This is just making sure that we have everything that we need. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So for now, for each tick message, no coordinates seen, no shot fired, that goes to everybody. Firing on position, that's going to go to everybody. Already fired on that coordinate, skipping that round. And then for the JavaScript itself, send message. I don't think we need that. That's for sending a message back and forth between Streamer.bot and the JavaScript. So I don't think we need anything there on that one. So, all right. So now what I need to do is I need to go copy all these files over to Streamer.bot. So only the ones that I changed. So the fastest way I can do that is go look at which files actually changed. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so I have the battleship bomber complete. I just need to go back and forth between my editor and the Streamer.bot here and just paste in the new code. Oh, it didn't compile. Send message to all platforms. Oh, right. It's because I need to change that DLL file. So to do that, I have to close down Streamer.bot, copy the new DLL file over to the right place. So let me go do that real quick. Let's go to, see that compiles on that drive. Streamer.bot examples, DLL source, bin, debug. That, all right. I need a better way of making sure that this can happen. And then over on D drive, open a new window, Streamer.bot, DLLs, paste, replace. And then over on my S drive, where my Streamer.bot stuff is, Streamer.bot DLLs needed, replace it in there. Okay, so now I can restart Streamer.bot. And then I may have to go update something on the YouTube that is broadcasting to make sure that it still thinks I'm broadcasting. So if we go to platforms, YouTube, broadcasts. Okay, it says I'm still live. Let's see whether I'm still live. Okay, so yeah, that did work. Okay, so it does recognize that things are live. Okay, so let's go back and make sure that these things compile. So that was bomber complete, compile, and now the compile's okay. And then the next one was, I got too many windows open here. So that was bomber complete, and then the game ending. Is this file? And that compiles okay, and then the game setup. That compiles okay. And then the tick. So this is on the clock tick, basically. This just is kind of what happens at every like clock tick in the game, just to make sure that all of these things compile and run properly. Okay, so now let's give ourselves another test here. So we'll do another easy mode game. Okay, so we have a new
Roger,
game.
Command. Eagle 1. Targeting
Let's do
systems
another
active. Stand by.
join. Okay, so welcome to Battleship. Good. Okay, cool. And it's replaying all those other messages of, hey, you've got this many seconds to join. Okay, and the chat timing is really good between the Twitch and YouTube platform as far as understanding when things need to happen. Let's go back over to this screen here so you can all see the game. If anybody else is watching YouTube, feel free to join in on the game here. You can join the game at any time, just exclamation point join in chat if you want to join, and then start picking coordinates that you want to fire at. So in this version of the game, basically we can do, I'm going to join from this command as well, so there'll be 3 of us to play. Ooh, something, oh, no, it did work okay. All right. So now we can do like A8, and over here I'm going to do A5, and over here I'm going to do like B12. And then I can do like B15. And we see all of those, should see all of those. Oh, I can't do B12 or B15, they're out of range, so B5. And we'll do like D2, and we'll do G7. And we see all of these show up on the map. Now on YouTube, we can actually overload
Roger, Eagle 1.
which one
Active.
we actually want to fire at.
Stand by.
Cool. So we aimed at D2. So everything that has a, whichever one has the most coordinates, it'll do a tiebreaker and just randomly roll one of those. But yeah, looks like we can now play the game across the platform. So that works. The video is significantly delayed on YouTube as far as like showing people what's happening versus the chat. So the chat is really up to date, but the
Command, this is Eagle 1. We didn't get any coordinates. Transmit again.
so
Over.
the chat messages are coming through in real time, but the video is delayed by at least 20 seconds. So we can see the chat happening. So on YouTube, you're going to have to pay attention to chat, but on Twitch, everything is going to be pretty up to date as far as synchronizing the chat with the video. But on YouTube, the chat is delayed behind the video by about 15 seconds. I'm not sure how I can fix that. So we'll have to examine what to do there.
Command, this is Eagle 1. We didn't get any coordinates. Transmit again.
Because if I do, let's see, I'm just going to enter like a new coordinate over here, and we'll do a new coordinate over here, and we'll do like this coordinate over here, and we'll do that one twice. So now we have 2 coordinates that have been voted on twice, but it's taking about 10 to 15 seconds for that second coordinate to show up over on YouTube. It does show up eventually, but it's significantly delayed from a video perspective. So that's going to make it a little frustrating for people to play the game on YouTube.
Roger, Command.
And I'm not sure how to
Eagle
fix
1.
that.
Targeting systems active.
Because the chat is in real time, but the video is not. So I think I need to figure out how to push my video to YouTube a little faster. Let's see. How do I even do that? Output, stream output settings. I don't really have a way to do that other than, because all I can set in OBS is the YouTube stream key, which we've already got. I don't really have another way to do that any faster. Now YouTube is also complaining about keyframe
Command,
frequency.
This is Eagle 1. We didn't get
I'm
any
gonna go ahead
coordinates.
and in the game
Try
because
me again.
we,
Over. This is
oh,
Eagle
we're
1.
actually kind of close to hitting a couple of boats
sir.
there.
Game over.
YouTube is also complaining about how frequently I'm sending a keyframe. It says use a keyframe of 4 seconds or less. Currently keyframes are not being sent often enough, which can cause buffering. Okay. Current keyframe frequency is 8.3. Okay, so I need to figure out how to send keyframes a little bit faster. Can I even do that? Can I even manage that within OBS? I would hope so. I have a max B frames, but I don't think that's what I need. It's on the streaming. That's all automatic. I have the additional canvas set up. Let's go take a quick look on OBS, how to set keyframe frequency. Settings, output, and set the output mode to advanced, which it is. Locate the keyframe interval field under the streaming tab. Okay, I need to stop streaming on YouTube in order to change this, but yeah, the keyframe interval is currently set to 0, which is automatic. I need to like force it to a value, apparently. Cool. All right, well, I'm going to stop streaming on YouTube and then continue streaming on YouTube. So I will be right back if anybody else is watching on YouTube. I will be back in just a few moments.